This is part one of recreating this Welcome to Colorful Colorado sample in Ibex. In this part, I'm going to create the columbine flower and nest it to create a background. So to start, I'm going to select the polycurve tool and very roughly sketch my flower petals. I'm drawing lines, not modifying the handles for simplicity. Right-click to exit. And then I'm going to use the Node Edit tool by right-clicking and selecting Node Edit from the dropdown to then go in here, and here's where I can adjust these handles and turn them into a little bit more of a shaped flower petal. So with the smaller one, I'm going to align the base to make it narrower and then curve the sides to match the shape I want. And then with the taller, pointier petal, I'm going to hold Shift here to round these corners. I can also hold Control to make those equal length. Give myself a bit of a rounded organic shape, and then bring these handles together, create a little bit more of a point, make the petal narrower at the base, and realign this to get the look I want. That looks pretty good. So I right-click to exit, and now I'm just going to move these together a little bit more. And I'm paying attention down here at the bottom. I'm going to be patterning these around the lower middle of this selection. So I'm just going to rotate them so that they're more or less centered around that point. That looks pretty good. So now I'm going to use the circle tool to create a circle here. This will become the basis of my flower. So select the petals, open multi-copy. I'm going to be in art copy mode. I'm going to align the petals, and I'm going to pattern about the lower middle like I mentioned with 5 petals. Select that circle. There's the flower coming together pretty quickly. I just need to decrease that radius. That looks pretty good. Good to go. I can get rid of this circle now because it's not part of my final design. Now, I've been drawing at a large scale. This is a 24-inch piece of material, so I'm going to scale these down. Something right about there. And zoom back on the plate. So now I can select this. There's a few other things I can do here. So I'm going to be nesting these into the material. Let's zoom in on those specifically. If I want to introduce a little bit of variation, this is the base design. I can select this here, go to the Edit ribbon, and select Flex Distort. This populates these pins on the screen that can be dragged to introduce a little bit of distortion if I want this to be a different, slightly different shape and introduce some variability into my design. And as I drag, you can see that the preview updates to show me what I'm doing. Click Apply, and there's a slightly modified design of my base. I can do the same thing with the fisheye distort using these sliders. I can apply a fisheye effect to my flower and adjust the scaling to fit what I want. Same thing, hit apply, and there I have a slightly modified columbine to use in my design. So let's go back out to the plate, and I'm going to rotate these vertical so I can put them right here. I don't need the petals anymore, so I'm going to get rid of those. And now I need to prepare for nesting. So I'm going to group each of the petal groups together. So now when I select it, they're all one group. This allows them to nest correctly. So opening the nester, I can select those. I have the quantity up to 100 apiece, but I also have multi-sheet off. This allows me to fill the sheet completely and not worry about having any gaps. But with multi-sheet off, it's not going to keep nesting sheet after sheet after sheet. I have the gap between columbine set to 0.05. The margin to the material boundary at 0.1, and I'm nesting at about a 30-degree step angle. That gives me a pretty good nest here without taking too long. And the random is the important selection here. That will randomize the order in which these are nested to give me that variability I'm looking for. When I'm ready to go, I can hit Show Preview, and this will create a preview of the nest in the material. So that looks pretty good, and I can click Apply to accept that, and now I have those contours nested in my workspace. That's it for part one. In part two, we'll finish this design.